For everyone for joining us here at 6 a.m. Jason and Alicia here with you. And in the next 24 hours, we could see record-breaking cold temperatures. Some areas already seeing nearly 50 below wind chills. Yikes.
I know. The forecast causing schools to close or delay start today. Those that are open, you can see them scrolling right now at the bottom of your screen and at KARE11.com/closings. A lot to cover, though, this morning, so we do have team coverage as you head out the door. Audrey is laying out how to protect our most vulnerable. Cece Gaines is tracking conditions out on the roads, but let's get out to John in the backyard with a closer look at how long we're going to expect these cold temps.
Well, here we go. We're here now. We've got the impact alert for today and tomorrow. Now, Wednesday and Thursday look very, very cold as well, but tomorrow looks incredibly cold. So the weather impact alert is going to go until 10 o'clock today and tomorrow. We have it strictly during the morning hours. That's where it's going to be dangerous. Afternoon gets around 20 below, which is still crazy cold. Not as much on the danger level. When you get to 40 below, that next level. So here's what it looks like the next 2 days. So this is this morning. We are under a cold weather advisory in the light blue. This is the extreme cold. That's where you get to 45 below. That's Alexandria and St. Cloud. Tomorrow we take that cold air. Everybody's in this. Extreme cold weather warning tomorrow from 12 a.m. to 10. And these wind chills are going to get down to 45 below. And that includes the Twin Cities. Now, I expect a 50 below tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly who it's going to be. It depends on where the strongest wind is. But yes, 50 below zero. And that will be the coldest morning potentially of the year. We have to go back into January where we did have one morning that was like this. But that morning we did have a lot of schools canceled. So make sure to check in tomorrow with that. We are now at 11 below. The temperature keeps falling here. 16 below zero in St. Cloud, 22 below in Bemidji for those temperatures. Now, when you factor in the wind, this has been a problem here. Winds at 20 miles per hour. We are now at 36 below here in the cities. 36 below. We're almost to 40 below. We'll track the fall, and then we'll talk about that warmth coming and how warm it's going to go in your forecast. Cece.
Good morning. Well, outside of the cold, it is a good start to the week with it being a holiday. A lot of folks are off work, and then I know some kids are out of school this morning. So the roads should pretty much be quiet this morning. Now, if you do have to head into the office or head into work today, you shouldn't see too many folks out on the roads, and you shouldn't see too many slick spots. I'll let you know if I see any slick patches coming up throughout the morning. But right now, things are pretty quiet as you head out the door. Live look here on 494 as you're heading toward the airport. Things looking good. You see an example of that. Usually 494 is a little busier than this at 6:03. So I'll have tours around the metro and then drive times throughout the next hour. Alicia.
Cece, thank you. We'll check back soon. Well, as John has been mentioning here all morning, by tomorrow morning, we could see record-breaking cold temperatures with wind chills hitting 50 below.
So, of course, it's going to be crucial to add extra layers as you head out the door. Let's check in with Audrey Russo with how to protect yourself and others if you're leaving the house. Hey, Audrey.
Hey there. Yeah, hypothermia and frostbite can set in about 10 to 15 minutes in temperatures as cold as these. So that's pretty fast, probably a lot quicker than you think. So when you're choosing your layers as you walk outside, you want to make sure you're following the rule of three. You got a base layer that wicks moisture away, that's essentially sweat proof, a second layer that retains your body heat, and then a third layer that's wind resistant to help protect you from the colder gusts. Now, if you have a baby and you're heading off to daycare, they're going to need an extra layer. They're going to need a little more consideration. So dress them in a layer that is one additional to what you would feel comfortable with. So if you are comfortable with a jacket over the rest of your clothes, make sure the baby has a snowsuit, maybe an extra blanket on. Older folks are also very susceptible to the cold, so when you check in, maybe on your elderly parents or on your neighbors, you want to make sure that they are bundling up both inside the house and out. You want to make sure they have enough food to eat so that they can maintain their body fat. That's the critical layer that helps you stay warm. And it is important to remember that just because you're inside doesn't mean you are safe from the cold. A lot of people think that the cold only exists out here, but particularly with older folks, inside your house can be the root of a lot of exposure cases. The National Institute of Health says that about 20% of exposures actually happen indoors. So make sure you're heating your house to about 68 degrees. That's kind of the ground floor, the standard, because even a home that's at about 60 degrees to 65 degrees can still spark hypothermia. Back to you.
Great reminders. Also, for parents with little ones, reminder not to buckle up their babies in their full big winter coats, because that's also Very unsafe, so you got to pack those on the side. Thank you, Audrey. And hey, if you do need a place to get out of the cold overnight over the next few hours, there's warming shelters open as we speak. Ramsey County has some open, and here's a list on your screen. Some of them are for women and kids only. Others are just for men. Reformation Lutheran Church is open to families. And there's also several open throughout Hennepin County as well. Here's a map of the shelters. There's more information about cold weather resources on our website, KARE11.com. And it's important to stay up to date with our cold weather this week. So take out your phone. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download the free KARE 11 weather app. You can get customized forecasts, weather alerts, and check the radar at any time.
Well, on this President's Day, protests are set to happen across the country, including here in the Twin Cities in the next few hours.
The demonstrations are in response to the Trump administration and a series of controversial executive orders. Michelle Beck is joining us from the newsroom with more on these protests. Michelle.
Well, guys, we are tracking plans for protesters to meet 6 hours from now at the Minnesota State Capitol. They call this 50-51, 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. And just as the name suggests, this is a nationwide effort on this President's Day. We last saw the demonstration 2 weeks ago, erupting in the wake of President Trump's executive actions. As one sign in St. Paul shows, protesters also criticized Elon Musk as a non-elected official who we know is attempting to reshape the federal government. According to NPR News, 50-51 isn't affiliated with any political party, but it is partnering with a group tied to Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, Americans are still very much politically divided. The Pew Research Center reported earlier this month 47% of U.S. adults approve of how Trump is handling his job as president. We'll compare that 47% with the 51% who say they disapprove. Jason.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Now, all of this comes as thousands of federal workers start their week without a job. President Trump ordered government agencies to lay off all probationary employees, which are those with less than 2 years on the job. That includes about 1,300 CDC employees, as well as staffers in the Departments of Energy, Education, Homeland Security, Veterans Affairs, and the U.S. Forest Service.
In New York, a deadline to bring an indictment against the man accused of killing United Healthcare's CEO is today. This comes just ahead of a case hearing Friday. Our Morgan Wolf is breaking down the timeline this morning.
Luigi Mangione is scheduled to be back in court this week. The 26-year-old is accused of fatally shooting Minnesota-based United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on December 5th. In New York, Mangione is charged with first-degree murder as an act of terrorism. He's facing federal murder charges too. And after the 4-day manhunt ended in Pennsylvania, Mangione was charged there as well. Mangione has entered a not guilty plea in every case. This weekend, his legal team launched a website to provide case updates and manage a legal defense fund, which has raised roughly $500,000 already. He posted a statement thanking people for their support. Mangione remains detained in New York City.
Time now.